We see the world in chaos. Birds fly above as a huge lightning bolt strikes, causing a loud crash. Animals feast on the remains of zombies lying on the ground, while the ones still alive are in an advanced state of mutation. Someone spits on the ground saying, "Damn, that traitor dared to deceive me." Then we see our protagonist all battered, standing in a fighting stance. A mutant zombie rushes towards him, preparing to attack. I never thought I'd end up dying at the hands of a companion. I'm not fit to live in this insane apocalyptic world. The zombie leaps at him to attack. That's when we meet our protagonist. My name is Young Min, someone who's always thought about the apocalypse. But right now, I'm about to die. How did this happen? I'll tell you. 10 years ago, the world changed. 90% of all living beings were infected and turned into terrifying monsters. Countless roulettes descended from the sky. Over time, people discovered crystals in the zombies' heads, which could be used to spin the roulette and obtain unimaginable items. There are various types of items and resources, like weapons and even genetic medicines that allow someone to awaken supernatural abilities. Because of this, survivors fought for the roulette. The entire world turned into a brutal and violent survival game, and I, with the intent to stay alive, could only accept and obey to survive. I threw away my principles as a human. After 10 years of training and hard work, I finally secured a place in the team. I thought my future would be bright and get better. I thought if I worked hard, I could live, and it should have been like that. I never imagined that in the end I'd die by a companion's hand. And so we see our protagonist being struck. This is where my game ends. Suddenly he wakes up lying next to a girl. Am I dreaming? Hadn't she died long ago? He starts to get up while still with her. Is this my house? The house I lived in 10 years ago. Before the apocalypse, I thought I been reborn. Then he looks at some kind of object that shows the year. Year 2020, September 10th. Isn't that the date the apocalypse broke out? That hell, do I have to live through that again? Then memories of all the zombies flash before him. No, wait. Being reborn means a chance to change everything. My precious 10 years of experience in the apocalypse are the most powerful weapon I need to live. He starts getting up and putting on his shirt. Meanwhile, the girl starts waking up and notices he's already up. She starts calling him by name, asking where he's going. She keeps calling him as he opens a drawer and is lost in thought, saying this is the inheritance my parents left me. I didn't have the courage to use it in my past life, but now I have to use it. Once the apocalypse comes, money will be worthless. Then she calls his attention again. Yeah, Jongmin, I'm asking you a question. Where are you going? He drops his backpack on the floor. I already knew you and Kim Jong are together. You're just acting out of pity, right? She is surprised that he knows her secret. Jongmin, what are you talking about? He begins to explain. In my past life, when the apocalypse happened, I did everything to protect this girl, but she chose to leave me and chose that Kim Jong. Then it cuts back to her. Jongmin, speak clearly. What right do you have to ridicule me and Kim Jong? You're just jealous because he's stronger and more handsome. You're just a clown. Without expressing any reaction, he says, Chi, because of our past. I'll give you one last warning. Be careful with Kim Jong. He's not someone you should choose as a companion when he trades you for. Then he remembers the past when she was traded for 3 kin goods. Even if I tell you, you wouldn't believe me. This is all I can do. I have no time to waste with her. I have more important things to do. Then she continues shouting. I was the one who rejected you first. Jongmin. With the apocalypse coming, I need to prepare medicine, food, and equipment. Then we cut to outside where he tells the driver to take him to the nearest hospital as fast as possible. The driver tells him to fasten his seatbelt because he's going to speed up. He then arrives at the hospital and starts gathering the medicines first. The most important resource is medicine. Suddenly a nurse appears. You. Who are you? Noticing her, he starts running and she keeps shouting that he came there to steal. He says he left some money on the table. These medicines are rare resources in an apocalypse. There's an unexpected use for them. Let's move on to the next spot. Then he goes to an outdoor equipment store and meets the old man. He tries on some shoes and finishes by tying them. Then the shopkeeper comes up behind him, saying that all his products are ready and asks for the method of payment. He looks at him and hands him a card. Wait, Isn't this machete the same one I used in my past life? And the quality seems excellent. This cheap price is totally worth it. As he leaves, the shopkeeper calls him a stupid sheep, saying that knife was sold at 10 times the normal price. We then see the taxi speeding again and our protagonist says, "Get to the High Day Mansion in 5 minutes and I'll pay you 300 Wayne extra." The driver, excited by the news, says, "Okay, hold on tight." He speeds up even more, almost running someone over. All set? Now all that's left is the roulette. The Apocalypse Roulette, also known as the Trade Roulette, is the first and only source of survival resources. Water, food, equipment, even special abilities. All can be obtained by spinning the roulette. I need to be the first. According to my memory, the first Apocalypse Roulette should be around here. He approaches near a condominium and the security guard comes over. "Hey, taxis are not allowed in this area." While he tries to stop him, our protagonist tells the driver, "Keep going. If there's any problem, I'll take responsibility." And the driver says, "Okay, okay." So he accelerates into the area while the guard moves aside to avoid being run over headquarters. There's a taxi entering the area requesting reinforcements. Then he gets close to a house and says, "Sir, stop here and keep going. Remember to run to a place with few people," and the driver confirms, thanking him and saying okay. He gets out of the car and stares at the place he's about to enter. The guards approach again, pointing their batons at him. "A taxi destroyed our security barrier. You still think you can run away?" The protagonist looked back and he keeps saying, "Kid, are you listening to me? Don't play dumb." Then he starts pointing at a spot and says, "Look over there." The guard looking. "Look at what?" Then suddenly a massive spaceship starts to appear. The guard, realizing it, starts to say, "What is that? The apocalypse is coming just like 10 years ago. Why did they leave the roulette and make people fight? If history repeats itself? If this survival game continues, then this time I must seize this opportunity and become strong. I won't waste this new chance I received." The spaceship continues flying. The name of this ship is the Golden St. Louis spaceship. It keeps flying in the sky while our protagonist and the guards stay below, just observing. Suddenly the guards start taking pictures. Are they filming a movie? Is it a special effect? The other guards start saying, "What the hell is this?" Our protagonist, already anxious, starts saying, "So soon?" The Golden St. Louis spaceship is about to start the attack. The attack will last 5 minutes. Knowing this, he starts rushing towards the place he wanted to go. Already tired, he approaches and says in 5 minutes the world will turn into hell. He rings the doorbell and someone answers. Who is it? Delivery. The first set of apocalypse roulettes will appear when the spaceship finishes its attack. The roulette will descend. The door opens and realizing this, he enters the house. Then he hears someone speaking. "Hey, aren't you the delivery guy? Who are you?" Then we see the house's resident approaching. "Get out, or I'll call the police." He looks at her expressionlessly and says this woman has no combat abilities. Then she asks, "What are you planning?" As soon as she finishes speaking, a massive explosion occurs outside, shaking everything. Our protagonist, noticing this, says the attack has begun. Huge capsules start descending from the sky like meteors, crashing into everything in their path. Not even the cars escape. People scream in terror, wondering what's happening. We then see that the capsule is enormous. It begins to open, releasing a green gas. The first person caught by it is standing right in front. "Hey, are you okay?" The mutation starts, and he begins to scream. Our protagonist, observing from the house, hears people crying for help. The resident, noticing the commotion, asks what's happening outside. There are so many people screaming. Our protagonist realizes something, and she continues, "If you don't leave, I'll call security." He remembers something and says, "Oh, right, it's in the kitchen." He starts running and she says, "Hey, you." They approach something that's glowing and she comes running saying, "Hey, are you deaf? Get out of here." Then we see the roulette he had mentioned. "It's here." He says, "If I had 5 grade 1 crystals, I could trade them all at once." Then he notices something else. "There are 7 slots," he says, disappointed. Spinning this roulette requires 7 grade 1 crystals, 2 more than usual. There must be something very valuable to redeem here. The woman, still confused, asks, "Why are you so sure of this? Why aren't you speaking? Then we see all the items the roulette could offer our protagonist, and he notices something. Luck card. She touches his shoulder and asks, "What are you talking about? What's this roulette thing? What luck card?" He looks back at her and says, "Luck card? A type of card that enhances special abilities. Didn't this woman turn into a zombie? That means she has some resistance to poison. Maybe she can become my assistant." He continues, explaining, "It can enhance your 5 senses physical strength, or even give you a pet." She waves her hand in disbelief. "Stop joking around. Are you playing a game? Get a pet. Who would believe that?" "Listen." "What?" The screams outside have stopped. "Yeah. Now that you mention it, what happened out there?" "Stupid woman. Are you going out to get yourself killed?" She starts running, approaching the door. The security in this area is getting